Yo.
1, 2, 3, 4. Louis is at the door.
Okay, all right.
Oh
Snoop.
shit.
This man turned into
Yo.
a Puerto Rican Snoop. Crazy work.
Snoop Peripero is what they will call us.
El Snoop.
Lord have mercy.
Snoopo Snoopy. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen,
El
welcome
Snoop
back.
Pedo.
Episode 26. Episode 26, the LAK Of Control podcast, man, with the boys, Lou, Armani, and Khalil. We're here again with another week. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We're sorry once again for the delay. Your boy had some wisdom teeth surgery. I had to yank a wisdom tooth out yesterday.
Tell them what it was, bro. You had
man,
some
bad
mouth
wisdom
problems.
tooth. Yeah,
so
I had some oral issues. As you can tell, I'm a
some
little
oral
swollen.
issues.
Yeah. Oral issues. So
your cheeks are swollen or your jaw? Which one is it?
Both. I'm taking anti-inflammatory medicine
because of his oral issues.
They had you like that, dog. Wow.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
They was yanking
that shit out. Yanking it out, bro.
Why fit out?
Yeah. Oh man.
For the Jamaicans out there, you know.
So if I look a little funky, more funkier than I already look on a normal, you know why. But hey, we didn't wait longer. Exactly. We didn't wait longer than what we had to. We're back at it again. We're going to drop this one Wednesday. So, man, let's jump right into it, man. The nitty-gritty of it all, bro. NBA Finals, man. What everybody enjoys to watch when it comes to NBA fans. I mean, shit. I just want, you know what, man? Let's let Khalil have the floor. You know, I wanna feed off his energy right now.
Well, honestly, I like the finals. I'm gonna put my bias aside on this one. I like the finals. I like what I'm seeing. Obviously the first two games, it was a little bit of a difficult game for game 2 for Wemby. Obviously not getting that clutch that shot down at the end of the game. But I do think overall both teams, even though the San Antonio Spurs came in, are a bit young. And even though same thing when it comes to the Knicks, young in the sense they haven't been to the finals before. So both teams they're doing things that we want to see as a fan of NBA. They are playing basketball, and we are seeing some great plays. The calling, the refs, that's neither here nor there because it's kind of a hit or miss. Both sides are kind of getting good calls, bad calls, to be honest with you. There have been a few flagrants that may have been missed, but again, we're seeing really good basketball between two teams. Maybe not as much flopping as you probably would have seen in, let's say, previous series with like OKC or Spurs, for example. But obviously the series is up 2-1. Oh, Armani thinks otherwise. But obviously the series is up 2-1. We do have San Antonio. They lost both their home games against the Knicks. And then you have the Knicks who lost their home game as well. So it's looking like no team right now, really, this call as it is, has no home team advantage. It's just a matter of really who's going to get that 4 wins, essentially is what it comes down to. I'm liking what I saw what Wemby did on game 3. He came in aggressive, obviously not finishing the game in game 2, was disappointed about that. So he came out game 3, dropped 30 plus points. I believe he had 2 blocks I saw, and then rebounds, we know that's what he's doing. He's always going to get those rebounds. 8 rebounds. So realistically, I mean, great bounce back game for San Antonio because we all know if they would have gone down 3-0, it would have been probably night for them. So ideally, this is something that Wemby needs to do as a young star, as the star and leader of that team, is he needs to lead and by example. And that's exactly what he did. He came out there, showed force. Obviously, Stephon Castle, stepped up in the beginning of the first half of the game. So that's something that the team needs to do. They need to drive off of if they want to extend the series and make it go to the length of where they want to and win the series out. So that's really the San Antonio side of it. Is Wemby just has to step up and be a leader and continue to be a leader. I understand that he's probably extremely tired because of going that Game 7 series with OKC, but you are in the finals now. Not too many teams make it into the finals, so you got to give it your all. So exhaustion and all that, I get it. I'm sure everyone on the team understands it, but he's going to have to learn to fight through that so that way he's able to keep his team over where they need to get to. As far as on the Knicks side, honestly, from what I saw based off stats, because unfortunately I didn't get a chance to watch the game entirely, I did see there were a bit of turnovers going on with the Knicks side. A lot of shots missed by Jalen Brunson, it looked like as well. Even though he did drop over 20 points, a lot of missed shots from him too as well, which I did see. But I think the biggest thing for the Knicks that really didn't really push them over the hump in Game 3 was Mikal Bridges. It looks like he did not show up at all that game. I think I heard a quick 2 early fouls in the beginning of the game, which kind of sat him out. Which in any game, if you're setting out your all-star because of the fact, or your starter, I'm sorry, because of the fact that you're in early foul trouble, that's going to change up the offense, the defense, and how things all work. So ideally, went out early with the fouls. Didn't finish the game very well. I don't even think he had too many attempts, it looks like, too. So it's not something that you want to see out of your starter, especially considering how they came out Game 1 and Game 2 in San Antonio. And Mikal was stepping up to the plate and showing that he was worth those first-round picks. So it's something that he's going to have to lock in Game 4, turn it up, and realize that, like you again, here in the finals, your team is relying on you. And they've been playing great team basketball when it comes to the New York Knicks. But it does look like the San Antonio Spurs have honed in on being able to cut out the passing lanes that they have usually been used and accustomed to doing. So it's making the series more exciting, gentlemen. That's one thing I could say. As a Knicks fan, obviously disappointed. I really wanted to get that game win. I wanted us to be 3-0 up just to get the sweep. It would be a fantastic thing to do. But if you're a San Antonio fan, obviously you're back in the game again. The series is 2-1. If you're thinking of any player, obviously it's 0-0 in their minds because it's just one game at a time. But now you have a little bit of advantage getting that that away win in Madison Square Garden. So it's good basketball what I'm seeing right now, guys. Like I'm liking the finals. It is getting exciting. Now it's not looking like it's going to be a complete, I guess you could say, sweep or an ass whooping in a sense. So that's my little tidbit on that, man. I'm liking the basketball. Disappointed as a fan that we didn't get that third straight win, but it's all good. At least I can say we're having an exciting run and we are here. That's my tidbit. I wanted to win, y'all boys. Didn't get the win. So
one win more than you guys got at 99. Yeah. So far you're up there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, what I will say about this series, bro, this, other than the Knicks being up 2-1, I wish it was otherwise, obviously. However, if we're considering these first 3 games, bro, the first 3 games of these finals, you could put this up against any finals, bro, in terms of entertainment value, in terms of how close the games are, how competitive the games are. Bro, both teams, in terms of physicality, have been giving it their all, bro. I'll say the first 2 games, you can kind of tell the difference in experience level between the teams. I did say in the last episode that the Knicks weren't battle tested. I do take that back. This playoffs, they were not that battle tested, but they have been in the playoffs for the past few years. So they have built up that experience. They have built up those calluses to where it showed in those first 2 games to where they were able to close those first 2 out. Game 3 was the same story, except this time the Spurs were finally able to close them out and take care of business in Game 3. On the Knicks side, what they need to be careful with is Brunson ball. I know Brunson is a superstar. I know he's a great player. But remember, the reason why they were losing in previous years was because the offense was so predictable with Brunson and his ISOs. I'll say go back to Cat being the engine of the offense. Because with Cat being the engine of the offense, I'm going to be honest, the Knicks look like one of the greatest offenses of all time. I'm not even going Cat. As much as I hate saying it, that's what they look like with him being the engine and Brunson playing more off the ball. So going into Game 4, I say Cat needs to be more aggressive. Big Purr, do your thing, bro. Like, hey, be big, like be as aggressive as you were, and also make sure you're finding your teammates. And another thing too, OG, bro. OG, man, not only this year, but last year's playoffs, he was impressing me in terms of his defensive impact and also his 3-point shooting and honestly his scoring in general. Like, bro, he looked automatic all night. So yeah, that's what I'll say, bro. Going into Game 4, the Knicks need Cat to be their engine again offensively, or it's going to look like we're going back to San Antonio 2-2. Not even going to lie.
Mikal need to step up too. He can't let that. He can't be Phoenix Suns, Mikal.
Well, I mean, shit. If you get Phoenix Suns Mikal with that in that playoff run, then you guys would be all right. But I mean, he had a decent game too.
No,
He had a
remember
decent.
remember what happened after they were up 2-0 though.
Oh yeah. But I mean, that was a young Mikal though. But like for him being as young or that
But are we
team
really gonna
overall
blame
outside of
Mikal,
Devin
y'all?
Booker and no,
I'm not blaming Mikal. I'm not blaming
like,
him.
he's
He's
a
a
fourth
role player,
option,
bro. He's a
like,
role player.
yeah.
That's like you blaming the
But
finals
no, but
outcome on
here's
Josh Hart. Like, let's be real. No one's
I am
gonna
gonna blame
blame Josh
Mikal.
Hart.
I am gonna blame him because the team gave up a lot to get you, so you are vital and important to the team. You are a starter, so I am gonna point blame because if I'm
I
looking
could
at the
see that
stats
though.
here, you got 5 players on the San Antonio Spurs that were all in double digits. Stephon Castle being in 23, which is pretty damn phenomenal. And
Are
you
you
got
talking
the
about game
Knicks
3?
32 for Jalen Brunson. Yeah, game 3. You got
Oh,
the Knicks,
okay.
Jalen Brunson 32, OG 28, Josh Hart 16 points. Wow. And then Karl Anthony Towns 11. Mikal's not even up there. Like
Yeah.
Carl's got to do more. I agree with what Lou said. I agree with Armani said. Yeah, you got to be that offensive engine again. You got to be the person that's really facilitating a little bit more. So you're not getting that Brunson ball. So I do agree with you on that portion. But Mikal, you definitely got to step up. Fourth, third, fifth, whatever option you are a starter on that team. You cannot be. We can't afford for you to be in single digits. You just can't.
I agree.
That's
I
plain
agree
and simple.
with the like the amount that you gave up for him, and for the amount that you gave up for a guy to be your fourth, fifth option, right? I do see where you're coming from. But you could tell just based off these game 3 compared to game 1 and 2, you could tell how the just the way how that engine was like that offense was running, with Karl Anthony Towns not being the guy running the offense. He wasn't as aggressive as he normally was the first 2 games. He finished the game with 40%, but it was a measly 11 points. I mean, he wasn't impactful defensively. And I think Karl Anthony Towns, his performance on defense goes based off how good he's doing on offense. You know what I mean? It's never the other way around, or it's never just solely focused on defense. Because if we're gonna be honest, before even until midway through this year, he wasn't known as being a defensive big. So it's like you could just tell the difference on that loss that they had was the forcing of the offense through Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns not being as involved on that offense. OG had a great game. He's had a great series so far. So anyone, when it comes to that whole, he never played in the finals back when he was in Toronto and all that shit, shut the fuck up. That don't mean nothing. He's performing. He's playing up to par. He's balling, and he's the reason why. He's also another big reason why they started the series 2-0. If we're gonna be completely honest, OG is probably just as important as Jalen Brunson or Karl Anthony Towns in those first 2 games. So, Mikal Bridges only had one good game, which was game 2, where he had 20, I believe. Yeah, he had 20 points. And led the team in minutes too.
But
In game
it
2,
was an important 20 points though.
it was. I mean,
It was pretty
I mean,
important.
it was a
That game
great
came
shooting
down
game
to
too.
what? Came down to what? 2 points again. I think it was like that. It was what?
Nah,
One final score was like
the next
105.
105, 104.
By 1 point.
Yeah,
by
Yeah,
1
1
point.
point. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he
and I
shot
think Mikal
eight
Bridges was like one of the guys that came in the clutch.
Yeah, 8 for 13, 4 for 6, 4 for 6 on the 3-point line. So, I mean, my thing is my main thing of this. I agree with everything that you guys said. It's been great basketball. It's been a great final so far with entertainment, with physicality, with everything. And then it's great to see guys like Wemby, guys like Karl Anthony Towns. When it's despite this one last game, Jalen Brunson, all these guys playing premium basketball when it matters. Especially with their first time being there. But my main thing is more on the Spurs side when it comes to the lack of guys like Keldon Johnson not performing the way how we were just seeing him perform throughout the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Guys like Luke Cornett.
Shit, I forgot about him.
The Spurs are not. They can't get their offense going unless Wemby's on the floor, and that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a massive problem when it's all said and done. Because if they can't get their offense rolling when Wemby's off the floor, this is where those runs that I've mentioned in previous pods, where the Knicks can go on, and that's how they end up managing to win these games. Or if not, they stay in these leads where it's too hard for the Spurs to come back from. You got to see Wemby in those timeout huddles, chewing up the team for them to make those little runs. But at that point, it's too late. We saw it in game 2. You know what I mean? So it's those other guys need to step up. We need to see the aggressiveness, the fast start from Stephon Castle. We need to see more consistent jump shooting because driving in and in the paint, he's playing great, and that's in Dylan Harper. He needs his jump shot to be. He was game three. Dylan Harper was 1 for 8. What's that? 1 for 8 from the 3 point line, and not only that, 1 for 8 in game three, and then in game two he finished what
Put up more
over
points than
3.
De'Aaron Fox though.
Yeah, but that's the inside points, which I'm cool with. But you have to be able if you're taking that many shots from the three, you have to have a better percentage than that. And then game one,
And
he
9
finished
rebounds.
1 for 4. So he in total he only made 2 threes throughout the first 3 games of the playoffs. That's not good. That is not good at all. So he needs to get that jump shot going. If he can get that jump shot going with the inside game, if you can get a little bit more production from Keldon Johnson as the 6 man that he won this past year, if you can get the aggressive start from Stephon Castle, they can make this more of a series where it could go 6. It could go 7, despite of who comes out winning on top. You can make this more of an interesting series. We didn't want to see a sweep of the series. Like overall, as basketball fans, we don't want to see that. If you're a Knicks fan, of
I
course
did.
you did. No, of
I
course,
did.
yeah. But overall, as a
As an
basketball fan,
NBA
you want
fan,
to
no, obviously
see,
you want to see
yeah,
both teams compete.
yeah, you want to see it go 6 or 7. But overall, when it comes to the entertainment, the physicality, I agree that it's been top notch. It's if you're paying to get into one of these games, you're getting what you're paying for sure. So I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. I already called it. I got the Spurs winning both. I got no team winning at home the first 4 games. So I had the Knicks. The Knicks ended up taking the first 2 games, and then I said I was like Spurs are gonna win the next 2 in New York. I'm that confident. I feel like the Spurs are gonna win tomorrow, Game 4 in New York. It's gonna be another bloodbath. It's gonna be another close one, and then let's see what happens in Game 5. Let's see if New York could win again on the road.
Yeah, bro. I
I'm
mean, when it comes
obviously
to
look
this series, I can see any outcome. I'm not gonna lie. The way it's been going, both teams could have won all of these games. It could have been 3-0 Knicks. It could have been 3-0 Spurs, 2-1 2-1 Spurs, 2-1 Knicks. Like any I could see any scenario at this point, bro. Like this has been one of those series from based off of the games have been extremely unpredictable. And I'm gonna give Khalil credit on this too, because I was a person who thought, hey, whoever wins the San Antonio OKC series is going to be built to ass versus the Knicks, like versus whoever comes out the East. And so far, the Knicks have shown me that they are a resilient team. They are leveraging that experience, and I do think that, like you said, Lou, this is going to be a bloodbath, and this literally could go anyway. I could even see the Spurs winning the rest of the games. I could see the Knicks winning the rest of the games. It's just any scenario could happen at this point, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like
have the Knicks been the hottest team in the playoffs right now so far within the last like two rounds?
Yes,
I will say yes. So that's almost impossible for me to believe that the Spurs could win every game here moving forward. I can see it more on the Knicks side than I can see it on the Spurs. If I'm going to be honest, that's why for me, if the Spurs win, the Spurs are only going to win this series and the finals if they go 7. That's just me.
I feel like honestly the Knicks can bounce back from yesterday's loss, honestly, because they have had a really good advantage being at home recently and also being away, but more at home obviously. I think yesterday's game was just simple as they were making a lot of mistakes earlier in the game. Mikal Bridges getting a lot of fouls early in the game, turnovers, just way too many turnovers early. I heard they were making a lot of silly mistakes in the beginning, a lot of turnovers, and that's just not normal, typical Knicks basketball, in my opinion. And I just feel like they're going to make those corrections come game forward, really come out and compete. Because while I do agree they have been a competitive portion, it's just not a typical thing to have players like a Josh Hart putting up 16 points. That just tells me that there was another area of a player that just wasn't, stepping up. We haven't seen much about. I didn't hear much about Landry Shamet at all for Game 3, so it sounds like he didn't really have much of a game.
I was gonna say that's another big thing, especially how he's been coming off the bench the first 2 games. Him only having 3 points in Game 3 and going 1 for 7 from the 3-point line. That's rough.
And it's kind of like how you guys are telling me too. Wemby wasn't gonna have like the games that he was having with like in the beginning of the series. So I feel like it would be the same for Landry. Not comparing the two, just saying in the sense that these are players that have shown in the playoffs so far this season that they can step up when their lights are bright, essentially. So I do feel that they're gonna bounce back and be able to bring it back to a 3-1 deficit, but. I am aware that, yeah, obviously now you got Wemby, who they've taken that game at home in the Garden, and they know what they need to do to essentially put pressure on the Knicks and get the series tied up. So if you are if you are Wembanyama and the Spurs right now, you're going to go into the Garden and really kind of clear out the noise as you did just previously before and do the same thing. But if you're the Knicks, you're also going to make adjustments and you're probably not going to have as many mistakes as you had in the previous game. So I agree. It could go either way. I'm just going to lean a little more on the Knicks just based off what I've seen the first 2 games so far and what I have seen throughout the playoffs this year. That's the only reason I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the Knicks on that. That's not even as a Knicks fan. That's just mainly what I've seen so far these past couple of games and how they've been able to bounce back. Granted, they've been on a winning streak. Granted, this is a lot different of team than before the Cavs or the 76ers, but they did come out with those 2 games away when most teams were not able to really beat out the Spurs like that. So I'm going to have to go with the Knicks taking the next game. As far as winning the series, obviously as a fan, I'm going to go with the Knicks. But for answering the question as far as game 4, I think Knicks taking games 4 on that one. And also, too, just throw it out there. They had a lot of distractions, too. I heard Trump was in the building. Just side note, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
they had to get into the building 2 hours in advance. I'm sure there was a lot of differences in the.
As players for the Knicks,
that's a side note, though. That's a side note, though.
You should be ready for stuff like that being in New York.
I agree. That's the Knicks fan out of me. Like, they were distracted.
If anything, that's more impressive on San Antonio's and that they were able to keep it composed and they were able to still cancel out the noise of all that bullshit because
they was just trying to make sure they protect their
along with being down 2-0, along with being 20 to 22 year olds in their first playoff series in the hostile New York environment, like that with the president at the finals, like out of nowhere, it just. That's crazy for the Spurs. I would say the same thing. It's probably
a little mature through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it could go either way. It really can go either way as a basketball fan. Great basketball we have been seeing, and I'm excited to see that this finals is really an exciting finals and not something that's like, all right, we already know how this way is going to go. It is really eye-socking. We're not too sure which way it can go. Spurs can easily come back and win it, or the Knicks could, get a handle back on it and bring the series home back again. Who knows? I'm still taking game 4.
Two years back to back with the exciting NBA Finals. I mean, we had last year OKC and Indiana going 7.
Went to game 7.
And then no matter what, at the end of the day, it's still New York. The media with the hypeness and everything like that. I mean, and it's been great basketball too. To put a cherry on top. So it's just great to get 2 years back to back with exciting. Put your ass to the couch to watch these games. So I'm happy to see that.
I had a question for you guys. How do you guys feel about, because one thing I touched on earlier when we were talking is, how do y'all feel about the recent like no calls that have been happening? And I mean like the clear ones, not the ones where like, oh, they slapped the wrist, it should have been called, not those. I'm talking about, we've seen it in the videos, we've seen the aggressive pushing of Wemby and the holding of Wemby, but we've also seen, Wemby just recently tossing Jalen Brunson to the ground. Like, how do y'all feel about these missed calls? Like, what do you think should be done about it? Or do you think like it's just like play on, play through it? Lou, how you feel about it? 'Cause I know you're a little more like, old school.
I like it. I like it. I mean, I just also think it got to be fair all the way around though. So like the Knicks end up coming out like that game 4, and something similar like that ends up happening, that not to make bad calls like that. Let them play. Not unless it's, and again, it's missed calls, right? It's not like they saw it and they just decided not blowing the whistle. It was genuinely a missed call. Because I'm sure if a ref saw what Wemby did to Jalen Brunson, I'm sure they would have called that. But if it's something like minor, something like that, I'm all about that tough physicality, bad boys Pistons style of basketball. So I'm with it. I have no complaints, honestly. But it has to go. Lou, it has to be even on both.
All right. I agree. I see. Yeah, I mean, Armani, how about you?
I would agree. I do like the more physical style of basketball that's been taking place in the playoffs, not only just this year but last year also. To the people who are critiquing it, I will say, bro, choose what you want. It's like y'all complain about the game being too soft, y'all complain about no hand checking, y'all complain about this, that, and the third. And then when the refs let them play and they allow physicality, now it's too physical. Now it's a problem. Now Wemby needs to be suspended for whatever he did to Brunson, and that's not a flagrant. It was a foul. Don't get me wrong. Not a flagrant foul. Yeah. He didn't follow through. It was they were both having contact with each other. Brunson was grabbing him. So what I will say is, me personally, I do prefer the more physical style of basketball. However, for people who are complaining, choose what you want. Like, keep it consistent. Do you want it to be more of a free-flowing game where it's freedom of movement, or do you want the physicality? Like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
I just want y'all to protect my boy Brunson, man. Out there getting tossed like a rag doll. That was embarrassing. Can you imagine?
I mean, let's be real.
He be flopping
by someone younger.
Let's look at the size difference.
I know, too. I agree, the size, but could you imagine though, Lou? Come on, you a grown man, Armani. You taller than me. Could you imagine someone younger than you just saying, and talk? How you gonna feel about that? I know you'd be tight. Come on,
nah. I'll be like, nah. No, stand your ground. Stand your ground, bro.
He flung like he. I mean, 7'4" against 6'2". There's only so much ground you can stand.
Good point.
Well, Wemby's not. But Wemby's tall and slender. It's not as if he's built like Jalen Duren or Andre Drummond. So you could stand your ground. You could stand your ground, bro. So it's not, the height is. That don't mean nothing to me. At that point, it's like, bro, this is a playoff. This is a finals game in New York with the hostile environment. Stand your ground, bro. It's not a big deal. It's not.
Is it really that hostile though? I mean, they don't have any fans really going out there, taking pictures with anybody. San Antonio.
Nah, y'all just mobbing and jumping.
Yeah, y'all trying to kill me out there.
We gotta stop this narrative. It's hostile because they go there and it's not like players are getting harassed and attacked.
It's
outside of the arena. Okay.
Yeah. No one ever said players.
Was alluding to.
They're playing good. They're playing good basketball. Yes, they're playing good basketball. It's not hostile. I wouldn't say hostile. All right.
It's hostile. I would say everywhere outside of MSG.
When they're saying "fuck MSG, you, Wemby," when they're doing that, that's not hostile.
Nah, I like that. I like that. I like that.
What you mean? That's not hostile.
Hostile. You guys are thinking hostile in the fighting sense. I'm saying hostile in the sense where you're in an environment where it's highly pressurized. There's people talking their shit. That's what I mean by hostile. It's a hostile environment.
You know what's crazy though? That I wouldn't even say that that's like a Knicks or a New York thing. That you can get that anywhere, bro. If it's Utah,
remember Detroit?
They could say if Devin Booker fouls Keontae George and they didn't make the call, or like it was an actual flagrant, they just called it a standard foul. They're gonna say "fuck you, ref," or they're gonna say "fuck you, D Book" or something. So it's like
New York is different in a good way though.
No, I'm not saying it, bro. You're running this narrative.
Can y'all let me speak? Can I speak? I
have heard
New York. What I'm saying is hostile environment in a good way. That's how it's supposed to be in the playoffs. And I'm not saying New York is the only hostile environment. Hostile environment doesn't mean bad. It's good. It's a highly pressurized situation. That I'm not talking about outside the arena. That's different. But inside the arena, it's a hostile environment, meaning it's a highly pressurized environment. That's what I mean by that.
Who is hostile? Who is openly aggressive, confrontational, or quick to anger? Doesn't say anything about that.
That sounds like a home crowd in the playoffs. That's what it sounds like.
Let's see.
Any home crowd,
in a workplace. In a workplace.
There's levels to this,
environment is a specific legal term workplace where severe, pervasive harassment or bullying makes it incredibly difficult or intimidating to do your job. All right, Armani is correct.
You just said
we are done.
Yeah. Okay.
We had to find out. We had to look up definitions to make sure that Armani was correct. Oh man, but man,
Armani was getting ready to be like, but I'm like, nah, you're good.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, you're right, bro.
When you say you're good, I was like, okay.
No, no need to fret, man. My boy. No need to fret. You got it. This is you got the topic. But yeah, man. Let's see. Game 4 will be Wednesday, and then game 5, because we already know there will be one, will be Saturday. So you guys will for sure next week
watch party.
Get our takes on these next 2 games. Let's see how it turns out. Hopefully, this basketball continues to be elite
Spurs,
basketball,
go.
high level
Knicks
basketball, and we'll
6.
see what happens. But keeping it with basketball, and something we didn't talk about last week, and the reason why I want to talk about it is because, of course, it involves my team. That's the reason why I'm wearing the shirt. All right, I don't want to make it about me or anything or my team, but it is important news.
The Tragics?
Shut your mouth. And the Orlando Magic have hired lead associate head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, Mr. Sean Sweeney, as the franchise's 16th head coach in history. So, Sean Sweeney, Mitch Johnson's right-hand man on the bench over there in San Antonio, is officially going to be the Orlando Magic head coach after they let go of Jamal Mosley. So after this playoff run is complete, he will report here to the Sunshine State and will be now in charge of the Orlando Magic. So, I like the hire. When it comes to assistant coaches, right? Ideally, my first 2 targets was, and this was before they took jobs, was Mike Malone and Tyler Jenkins. Those are my first 2. They both took jobs early. Mike Malone heading to UNC and Taylor Jenkins heading to the Milwaukee Bucks. If you guys missed that news, but when it comes to assistant coaches, Sean Sweeney was one of the guys that I was okay with seeing what he was about. A lot of these assistant coaches for me was going to be more of a, they hired him, was going to be more of a, let's see what happens. But this guy has the track record, right? He has the history. He's been to the finals already. This is the second finals in the last 3 years. He was back. He was Jason Kidd's assistant head coach over there in Dallas when Dallas played the Boston Celtics. He was coordinating the offense and the defense during that time, during that run. So he was known as being one of the best X's and O's guys amongst assistant coaches since then. So, having that, improving the Spurs' defense. I looked up some information about him a little while back ago when I thought we were going to talk about him last week. But he guided the Spurs from 25th, fun fact, 25th to 3rd in the NBA in defensive efficient rating. That's pretty fucking good. And we're already, when it comes to Jamal Mosley, he already instilled that defense identity with us. So having another guy who's arguably could take a team like that, San Antonio, who's way more talented than we are, right? That goes without saying, and get them from 25th to 3rd in just one season. That's pretty impressive. And then the Spurs also ranked top 5 in defense isolations, on-ball screens, and drive-in rim protection. A lot of that has to do with Wembanyama. I know that. Yes, we don't have a Wembanyama on our team, but again,
but
having
you got
a defensive-minded team. Yeah. I wouldn't say when it comes to defense, though. If we're gonna be fair, not when it comes to defense. But hey, I'm excited for the hire. I think he's young, 41 years old. He has a lot of time to grow with the team. He's still relatively young in this coaching circle, so I'm excited to see what he does. He's already worked alongside guys like Giannis, superstars like Giannis, Luka, Wemby. So I think him being able to have guys like Apollo, like a Franz, Desmond Bane, like a mixture of personalities, and Paulo being supposed to be the face of the franchise, I think he brings something new to the team that the team needed. They needed a new voice in that locker room, and I think there was no other better option out right now. To be honest, I didn't want Billy Donovan. I didn't want Tom Thibodeau. So it's kind of like, it's still kind of like, let's see what happens, right? But
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
I'm okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I like it. I'm okay with the hire.
I like it because I like it just because of the new age of things, that all the things that are changing right now. You have teams that are getting all these new coaches, some coaches with different resumes, and with a resume like that, it's kind of like with Mike Brown. We didn't really know what we're gonna get with Mike Brown. It's the same thing when it comes to all these small changes. Well, you did. Okay, sure.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he
my point being is
head coaching roles, so you kind of knew a little bit.
I like the opportunity that he's going to be able to get, as opposed to, okay, let's just give it to a coach that had history before or being another team. Like, it gives a chance for a young coach, as you mentioned, to kind of take this team to maybe the next level, because Jamal Mosley, as much as he did, he took the Magic into the playoffs a couple of times. Yeah, they couldn't get too far with it. Yeah, they did lose the 3-1. But however, he was able to help the team get to a spot they needed to be at. I think they just reached that ceiling, kind of like with the Knicks, and I bring it up because that's what I know. But Tom Thibodeau, he can only bring that team so far. Also, too, with the personnel that they had at the time. So with the Magic, them getting this new coach now, I think it's gonna now get that ceiling a little bit higher. Maybe he's going to start testing these players to do things that they weren't able to do before underneath the Jamal Mosley. So that's what you get when you do get a different coaching in there. You get a different outlook, a different point of view of how you can maybe play an offense or maybe play a defense. So like you said, maybe they don't have a Wembanyama on their team, but who knows? Maybe he puts them in a position now that shows them, hey, this is what we do on defense going forward. And maybe that opens up Paolo to get better on defense, or maybe Wendell Carter. These are things that we get when you change coaching in the staff. So you never know what can happen. So I'm rooting for the Magic mainly because of the fact I'm tired of seeing the Magic not really being relevant. Also, too, being like the little baby brother of the Heat, it would be nice for them as underdogs to really come out and do something significant. So kudos to them. Hopefully they're able to have a little.
I mean, it's true.
Kudos to them, man. But no, seriously, man, it's good to see these teams like change their fate in a sense. Like, we already know the Lakers do what they do, the Celtics do what they do, all these great big teams, they do what they do. But to see teams like maybe the Charlotte Hornets, they had a really late season where they were really doing very well, getting into the play-in and potentially possibly the playoffs, but they came a little short on that. So it's nice seeing these teams that we're not used to seeing realistically, minus the Magic, because the Magic have been relevant for the past couple of years, like let's say 3. But it's nice seeing these teams that we're not used to seeing get into this position. So like I said, shout out to the Magic. Hopefully they are able to take something far with this guy. My little 2 cents. You're welcome.
I liked your breakdown. I really liked your breakdown. Very good breakdown.
Armani?
Good hire. I'm going to be honest. I didn't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be honest. Sidney Sweeney is not. I called him Sidney Sweeney. Sean Sweeney.
Stop being disrespectful. Stop being disrespectful.
They're going to tell you.
Stop being disrespectful.
My bad. No, and honestly, that wasn't even intentional. That wasn't even intentional. I was thinking about, we know
who this guy's going to be thinking about tonight.
Yeah. Crazy word.
Yeah.
Hey, Sidney Sweeney, that's a baddie, bro.
Man.
That's a baddie, bro.
It is.
Anyways.
She is.
I'm not gonna act like I knew much about Sean Sweeney before this hire. Didn't. Considering his resume, I would say it's a good hire in theory. However, we have seen to where there are guys who are great assistants, but they may not be head coaches, and which we don't know that until he actually does the job. But that is the only risk that they do run with getting a guy who is new in this position, is that, yeah, he's a great assistant. Don't get me wrong. He's done amazing. We just got to see if he can translate that into being a head coach. So, based off of the resume, based off of what we've heard, I would say it was a good hire, but we don't know for sure until we see it in practice.
And if you're a San Antonio fan and maybe a Magic fan too, if they end up beating the Knicks, he will be a NBA champion essentially too. So they add that to his resume as well. But
yeah, that'd be great. That'd be nice to come off of a championship and then just go and coach a new team. That's something high to take with you to a new organization. Especially when you're down. And if you can come back and win that shit, you know what it takes. You know how to, set that locker room to stay composed and to not. The issue with the Magic, and it's no secret, is that they blow leads. We can start off the game hot. We look great. We look like a top 3 team in the East. And then come second half, we blow it. That's been our MO for the last 2 to 3 years. And I will say a lot of that has to do with Jamal Mosley, but a lot of it has to also do with the players. So, if this guy wins the finals with the Spurs, he could change that narrative in the locker room. So that's one of the main things I'm looking forward to when it comes to him coaching these guys. So let's see what happens.
Facts. Oh man, moving on here. So we got a lot of rumors going on and circulating in the NBA right now. A lot of fake news that's out there. But I am curious, with the fake news that's out there, which one y'all would love to see happen? Armani.
For me, and I've been thinking about this too. The rumors that we have seen with Austin Reeves with his contract negotiations, I think that's going to play a very pivotal role this offseason, especially since he's probably a top 3 free agent this offseason. From what I've seen, Austin Reeves is eligible, and I'm about to tell y'all, he is eligible for a 5-year, $241 million max contract with the Lakers. And if you ask me, if I'm the Lakers, I'm not giving them that. I'm not even going to lie to you. Reason being is, one, we haven't seen him play to the same standards in the playoffs as he does in the regular seasons for years at a time at this point. Two, we're trying to build around Luka, and we all know what Luka needs. Luka needs a lob threat big, and he needs 3-and-D guys. That's simple. 3-and-D guys and a lob threat. Austin Reeves, he does not fit that criteria. And I'm not saying get rid of Austin Reeves, but if Austin Reeves is going to stay, he has to stay honestly at a discount. It can't be at a max contract, especially at that number. So here's what I'm thinking. Either Austin Reeves takes more like a 4 years 180 instead of 5 years 241. If not, no harm, no foul. It's cool. No worries. I think he should look into getting traded to the Pistons, if not. The Pistons, he is literally the perfect archetype for what the Pistons need. They need shot creation. They need 3-point shooting. And they need a little bit more of a second a second ball handler next to Cade. So Cade doesn't have to handle all of the ball handling by himself.
Yeah. We lost your volume, my boy.
Audio's gone.
Uh-oh. Audio went to poo-poo.
Uh-oh. Do 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 do
yeah.
do do.
We'll be right back.
Do.
I mean, he had a valid point. I mean, I never would have thought about potentially putting Austin Reeves with the Pistons. I mean, that shit would be nasty. That shit would be nasty if that were to happen.
There as a number one option, and then having the Austin Reeves there would be fantastic. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. Actually, no, yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing it as a fan of the NBA, as a fan of being a Knicks. Gosh, that they're already kind of great defensively. That would significantly increase
that bad boys mold too. Mm-hmm. Like he fits that.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? There you are.
Perfect. There you Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I was just saying it's a match made in heaven. And if the Pistons wanted to give him a max, it would make sense for them because they need his skill set that much more than the Lakers do, just for fit purposes.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I
think that works. I think that's a really good fit. Lou was just saying he agrees. Like that's a good fit for them because he fits that team. So yes,
he fits that bad boy mold. Like I think he fits that shit. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Hillbilly Kobe, like baby. I want to see that.
This guy said Hillbilly Kobe. That's crazy.
What say you, Lou?
No, that was his actual nickname.
Seen out there. Really?
Really? That's crazy. That's so insulting.
Coming out of Arkansas, yeah. No, it's not.
It's an interesting nickname.
Hillbilly Kobe. Not. Hey, whatever. Hey,
Hillbilly Kobe.
I guess we have no other
Hillbilly
choice.
Kobe's fire.
For me, I've been really intrigued with the idea of seeing. With me, I've been really intrigued with the idea of seeing, and of course, this is all assuming health, right? I like the idea of seeing Kawhi Leonard paired up with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green out there in Golden State.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Damn you.
I really like that. And it just makes sense for the Clippers too when it comes to this trade mock that they have, including Jimmy Butler and the number 11th pick in this year's draft. Jimmy Butler is left with literally 1 year left in that extension that he got from Golden State. I mean, it's a lot of money that he's owed at 56 mil, damn near rounding it up to 57. But it's an expiring deal. You don't have to try to re-rot him because you don't want to keep that all in the books. You could just pay him for that 1 year. He's not due to return right away anyways. So he might end up coming back, and if that, midway through the year. But I think when it comes to the Clippers side, I think it just makes sense because it's time to let go of the old pieces. It's time to let go. It's time for you to rebuild. Once they made those trades for Darius Garland and Benedict Mathurin, getting rid of Zubac, getting rid of Harden, there's no reason why Kawhi Leonard should be there. There's none. So is that the best trade offer that they can get? Maybe not. But when it comes to
especially
the
after that
pairing of
scandal.
yeah, but when it comes to the pairing of Kawhi to Golden State, I think that to me would, and assuming health, that could elevate that team a little bit more because it's not like they missed the playoffs by a lot. You know, if we're gonna be honest, they were in the play-in. Yes, they lost, but I mean, having a guy like Steph Curry, having a guy like Kawhi on that team, Draymond still being Draymond, you're still able to keep Pods. You're still able to keep Moody, and Moody's coming back from that nasty injury that he had throughout the year. I think that team is still poised to make noise in the West. People didn't believe it back in 22, and they still managed to win. So it's to me with health, that team is still scary because Kawhi Leonard still is a great player when healthy. So that's for me. That's who I think. I like that rumor.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It'd be kind of crazy to see Kawhi go to a team that he beat in the finals, though. I always find that interesting. Like the previous roles that they've played in the other teams' careers or the players' careers. It'll be interesting to see him go back to a team where they actually beat them in Golden State in the finals. So yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
there's one thing that I'd want to see. Two, technically, because obviously the whole thing is with the switching of the sides of who's going to be going from the West to possibly going over to the Eastern with having those additional teams. I would like to see two things. One, I'd like to see Minnesota move over to the Eastern Conference, hands down, because I think that would
players.
add some...
You talk about switching teams, like conferences. Ooh,
conferences. I would like to see that because that would add another powerhouse type of a team over there. But to add it to make it more a powerhouse team is I'd like to see this rumor I've been seeing around is KD to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I do know that right now that the Rockets do hold the Phoenix picks. I know they're not too sure what's going on with Timberwolves just yet as far as contracts go, but I would like to see a partnership between, the duo between KD and Anthony Edwards. Obviously, Anthony Edwards having KD being his favorite player. So it would be nice to see that. I don't think they can do it with Julius Randle on that squad. So I think if you bring KD over into that team with Anthony Edwards, not sure how that would work with having, Rudy Gobert if he stays, if he goes. Obviously, you'd want to keep him there, but I want to see that. And then if you add that being on the Eastern Conference, I could see some things happening there. Because ideally, if you Julius Randle over to Houston, he's from Texas originally, so you send him home kind of. I would take advantage of doing that. Bring KD over there. He's probably got realistically about maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years seasons to really do anything different or make a championship type of run. If you do that on Minnesota, if you go to Minnesota, you can definitely go on a little run with Minnesota, especially with Anthony Edwards being the younger guy. You get to play with someone you've played with already before in the Olympics. So I say, yeah,
it'll just work out. I just did it on the trade machine, and it works out with Julius Randle and DiVincenzo, straight up. For money aspect side of things, it just works. I mean, of course, picks are going to be involved, but yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Wait, but does Minnesota have control over their picks? Because I know this was a while ago now, but didn't they give up like 4 or 5 first-round picks for Gobert?
I think they gave up up 5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it was a while ago now, so those picks probably already conveyed. But I was just curious on that. It's interesting. That would be a good trade though for them.
They don't own a first round pick for next year's draft. It'll be 2028 and 29. They own their first picks or their picks overall.
So it was 5 first round picks, Armani, and it was 2023 first round pick, 2025 first round pick, 2026 first round pick swap, 2027 first round pick unprotected, and then 2029 first round pick top 5 protected.
Jeez, all that for Rudy Gobert. Damn.
And Walker Kessler.
Oh, he was a part of that. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was a part of that.
Damn.
Those draft picks.
I know that's a lot, right? I didn't realize they gave up that much.
Yeah, I remember it being a lot.
Four-time defensive player of the year, man.
You're still better off keeping him if you manage to get KD. out of Houston, if you could get rid of Julius Randle as like the main player leaving,
he got to go. Yeah,
pull that trigger.
Yeah,
pull that trigger. Don't add anybody else. I only added DiVincenzo because I know I needed to add someone else that's making over 10 million, and there's not really anyone that I see that would make sense. I mean, you not even. I was gonna say, no.
Oh no.
Nah.
For KD?
Nah.
I was fucking with you guys.
I don't even think that would work if you do Julius Randle and Miles Reed. Oh, it still works. Yeah, holy shit.
I wouldn't. Really?
Fuck that.
If Julius Randle and Miles Reed,
I wouldn't do it though.
I wouldn't do it either. At that point,
I would keep Miles Reed over Julius Randle.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, if you can give Julius up, if you can give Julius up by himself with a pick or so, then I would try that.
But keep in mind too, going back to you saying about Minnesota going to the East, and that will require a expansion team in the West.
Expansion teams, yeah.
Yeah, because no team.
I mean, you could shift the team. Did they approve that already? That they had to do that.
It got approved that they could start a bidding war for teams, like owners that want to buy a team out. But that not unless that happens, and as of right now, it's still at a standstill. So. And I don't think it'll be both right away. It'll be one first, and then the other one maybe like 2 to 3 years after that. So it's either Seattle or Vegas.
Nah, it would have to be both. It would have to be both. Because at that point, it will only be 31 teams in the league, and then the conferences will be uneven. So it would have to be both at once.
Yeah. So yeah, you have to get like two different not two because there's always more than one, but you have to get multiple different investment groups.
Oh, these rich people out here, man. I know there's gotta be some.
Come on, let's take out a loan, guys. Let's buy the team.
Which team you trying to buy? The one in Vegas or the one in Seattle?
2050, I got you.
2050, bro. See, you're not thinking big, dog. You're not thinking big. Why not next year?
We buy them now, so by 2050 we could retire. Right. We could retire the next generations in our family, bro. Come on now.
Yeah,
bro. We can retire the next 3 generations in our family. What are you talking about?
Yeah, more than that. Fuck that. Fuck that noise.
All right, y'all. We're gonna be the poorest owners in the league. GoFundMe. We're gonna start a GoFundMe right now. GoFundMe.
Yeah, we're gonna start a GoFundMe.
Second apron. Fuck that. We even going past the first apron.
We gonna call it. It's gonna be called the LAK Arena. Pending name. Pending the name.
The arena lacks a lot of security.
We're gonna be cheaper than Portland's owner, bitch. We're gonna be hella cheap. No luxury tax. None of that.
Hey, you think we can get Nico Harrison?
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Yeah, Khalil, sell your share, bro. Sell your share. Yeah, if you recommend that in the meeting, sell your part, bro.
I think we can get him at a discount, bro. I think he learned his lesson.
Yeah, nah.
I don't want him.
And Tom Thibodeau for the coach?
God. He's banned from the league. He's banned from getting a job.
You're already putting us in purgatory.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry.
Hey, anyone who participates in the GoFundMe gets a solid 0.3 point share of the team. So they get something. All right? You just got to get this money up. You just got to get this money up.
No, you get the opportunity to be an intern. You don't get no shares. I'm sorry.
Damn. So you better.
Hey, you know what? That's fair. At least he's telling you straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just crack a pool cue, throw it in the middle with 3 people, and see who comes out alive. That's the internship. Some Joker on Batman on Dark Knight type of shit. Who's looking for a job? Yeah. Just crack that shit, just throw it right down the floor. Oh man,
this guy.
This Let's hope that the rest of the playoffs, the rest of the finals are good games, right? We just based off what we've been seeing so far, it should be. Until then, next week we will be discussing Game 4 and Game 5. We'll see if any major crazy news comes out from any sport. Don't forget Shop KS Cosmic Souls. New drop incoming, huh?
Drop coming soon.
New drop coming soon. So y'all stay on top of that, man. Let them know where to find the page.
Yes, sir. And don't forget this episode, as always, LAK Of Control is brought to you by Dubby. Make sure you put your promo code LAKPOD10. Get 10% off your first order.
Your voice.
What was that, Armani?
Voice.
Facts. First order.
Your voice. And then
Force.
Yeah, shop that KS, shop that Dubby. Until then, ladies and gents, same time, same place, next week. We love you.